Slowly, unevenly, but definitely. The world's COVID trauma is starting to thaw. The global drive to develop, produce, and administer vaccines has been accelerating, and many countries are bending the needle on new infections and immunity. Masking and other protection measures are becoming second nature. Travel is increasing. For the world's boards of directors, the question now arises, now what? You've had a year's online sabbatical from the boardroom. Is it time for your board to start thinking about a return to in-person meetings? While there's plenty of advice on deciding when company workers should return, what about the unique situation of a board? Should you reconvene? When? And if so, how? Start your assessment with a review of just how well your board has learned digital governance over the past year. In April 2020, I suggested boards put off some of their big decisions until they could meet again face to face. But as the months dragged on, some of these decisions just couldn't be deferred. And boards then made an interesting discovery. As they grew more skilled at online governance, more and more board actions that everyone assumed had to be handled in person actually could be managed virtually. Inventory your board's new digital capabilities over the past year and weigh other boardroom musts that maybe aren't. Next up, inventory your board members for their views, health status, and availability. Every director I've talked to lately looks forward to finally getting back together face to face, but they also have many caveats. Most of your board members are the older demographic, people who qualified first for COVID vaccinations, but they're also more likely to have underlying health conditions. Find out who on your board is immunized or when they will be. And also be extra sensitive in gauging when, how, and if each board member personally feels ready to head back into a boardroom. Step 3, look at current and pending regulations on getting together by state, by country. Lockdown rules are shifting constantly worldwide, with bans and quarantine times in flux. Countries and airlines are planning vaccine passports to ease international travel, but firm standards are yet to come for this. Who would be coming from where for your board meeting? Assuming your board would meet at company headquarters, what will local travel rules there allow? Are hotels, restaurants, and transport open fully enough locally to make convening practical? If not at the moment, when? Put together a checklist of factors that must be met before you can proceed. Next up, even if you hit that magical moment when you can hold an in-person board session, assume virtual meetings are going to be a major part of your governance mix for the near future. And this can also mean customizing hybrid virtual in-person sessions, which offer a good way to ease into resumption. If the CEO and several directors are immunized and can make it to a central location, those unable to travel yet can zoom in from their end. Try in-person at first for smaller groups or committee meetings. A combination gives you added flexibility and allows you to innovate. Finally, so you're ready to bring the whole team back together into the boardroom. Even if all are immunized, keep up the hygiene practices that we've made second nature over the past year. Wear masks in the meeting by default. Spread out around the board table. Offer plenty of hand sanitizer. Keep boardroom traffic to a minimum. And no buffets for lunch. Stay safe.